Hi everyone. I want to talk with you today about a new trend that myself and other attorneys are seeing from the Immigration Service. We're going to talk about immigration going back to the green card application when you are applying for citizenship. So let me explain what's happening, and then I'm going to give you some ideas on how to avoid these problems. When someone applies for citizenship, the Immigration Service, as part of its review, is able to go back and look at the green card application. They want to see how did you receive your green card, and sometimes they, in the past, looked over the application and asked some questions. Well, in the year 2022, starting this summer, I have noticed a trend where that is happening more often. And not only are they going back and asking questions such as, so how did you receive your green card? Oh, if it was through marriage, are you still married? Do you have documents about that? They have always been able to do that, even when this is not naturalization based on the 3 years of being married to a U.S. citizen. Even when I'm filing naturalization for 5 years, I feel like it's best practices to bring in documents showing that that marriage is still valid, bring in a divorce decree or whatever documents that I know immigration may ask about. But these days, I'm seeing more questions. And let me tell you 2 scenarios that I have heard recently, and I want you to feel aware of this, what is going on. So the first scenario is a client applied for naturalization, and he had received his green card previously through the diversity visa lottery. And this client went to the naturalization interview and was completely surprised to see the immigration officer and to hear the immigration officer asking questions about how that client received the green card. Now, the facts of the case look very clear, but what is interesting to me is that not only did the facts look good on its face, the immigration officer or the fraud detection department has gone back and checked very carefully over that green card application. The Immigration Service can still see it. The Immigration Service does have the right to ask you questions about that. And so for this case, now the Immigration Service is saying, we don't believe that the relationship is correct. We don't believe that that was a real relationship when you received the green card, and therefore you need to prove that it was. Now, this can be very tricky if you have held your green card for a very long time, because over time, the evidence sometimes disappears. It gets stale. You may move and you may lose some paperwork about your old case. So my first tip is never lose any paperwork about how you received your green card. Keep it in a safe place. You very well may be asked the same questions when you are going for your naturalization interview. Let me give you scenario number 2 that I think will come up. It hasn't happened yet, but I think it could come up. I have seen this story happen where the client receives an I-140, and that is an employment-based green card. They got the I-140 approved, they applied for the green card, got that approved. Everything looks great. But the case may fall apart at the time that they go for their naturalization interview. Sometimes a person who is approved for a green card through an I-140 petition, I've seen it myself, they actually do not go work in their field. Yes, they go do something totally different. Maybe they don't work at all, and they have not complied with what they said they were going to do on that I-140 petition. Now, once you have the green card, you are not required to work at a specific company, even if that company sponsored you. But here it is, immigration could feel suspicious. If you're working with a U.S. company, they sponsor you for a green card, the very next day when you get your green card, you leave that company. They could wonder if the job offer was bona fide. They could wonder if you actually intended to work for the U.S. employer that sponsored you. So those questions can and do come up in the naturalization time. I have had attorneys report to me both family-based cases, diversity visa lottery cases, and I-140 petitions, employment-based cases have all been reviewed by the officer that's interviewing you for naturalization. So the second tip is, if you have an I-140 petition, it's approved, you receive your green card, think very carefully about when you decide to change jobs. Nobody, the Constitution says, you do not have to stay there, but think about the optics and what is that immigration officer going to look for 5 years down the road. Some food for thought today. A few suggestions for you to think over. If you are seeing these issues come up in your own case, you definitely are able to contact us. Let us know how we can help you. And as always, please don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We'd love to have you to subscribe, and also click the bell so that you're going to get notifications the next time that I post a video.